Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. I don't see anything. Oh, there we go. There we go. Starting to see some entry into the room. I don't know if the system was frozen or what's going on, but welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome to today's live stream, today's inspiration. Really excited about today's topic. Today's topic is a really interesting one, and I'm very inspired to see how we all collectively grow, from our lens, our view, our exploration, our investigation into focus. On Tuesday or Thursday, it was actually on Thursday, we investigated creativity. And what we ended up concluding is that we all are creativity. We are all creators. And that we have created a limited belief or a limited definition of creativity, applying it to the arts, to crafts. What I recognized when I did some of my pre-focus, pre-thought, pre-exploration of focus, I recognize that there's a really interesting similarity that when we look at focus, I think we're going to find that we have the same thing, that we have a narrow, judgmental approach on it, just like creativity. And together we will redefine what focus means for us in an empowering way. Sporty Jen, good afternoon to you. Wonderful to see you. The room is filling up slowly. I don't know if it's the Wi-Fi or what's going on, but it's so exciting to see you. And did you start thinking, let's ask, did you all start thinking about focus? And why did this topic appeal to you, if it did appeal to you? And what might be the judgment that you hold about focus? So what is it that you feel about focus? Are you good or not good at focus? What is the judgment that you hold about focus? And please introduce yourself as you come in. Is it your first time or your regular? And let us figure this all out together. What I recognized is that focus is a synonym for presence. I'm going to say that again. Focus is a synonym for presence, but it is the activity of being present. So for those of us who think that or have a judgment to our ability to be present, the tool that we get there is focus. So the first thing I realized to help us and empower us to find focus is to look at any form of resistance, any judgment that we collectively hold towards focus. And I know a lot of people say, oh, I have trouble focusing. Oh, I can't focus. Oh, I can't focus on something for too long. Oh, my focus is compromised. And it is these limitations that keep us from being present. So focus is a fantastic word. It's a fantastic tool, but it ultimately focuses about presence and about being present. Good morning, Kim. Good morning. So did you guys like that? Are you on with me with that? And do you recognize that if we have resistance and judgment towards how we hold ourselves and how we hold our focus, that we are already adding resistance on resistance, and focus is all about being present. We can be focusing on something on the future. We could be focusing about something on the past. We could be focusing on anything, but as long as it's deliberate, then you are present. You're present. So I think it's powerful for us to start to shift or start to have a greater understanding of what focus means. Focus to me also, I felt like there were strong similarities between focus and awareness. However, focus was more deliberate and awareness was more passive. So when we use the word awareness, there is less resistance and judgment that we have upon ourselves about awareness than focus. So if we could start to recognize, oh, focus and awareness are actually synonyms, very similar synonyms, but awareness I don't hold a judgment to, where focus I do. If we start looking at being an aware rather than focus, then we start to liberate ourselves. Because ultimately, what are we trying to get with focus? So the Sporty Jen, I'm glad that you're enjoying this. Thank you. This is a good clarification. Fantastic. So let's talk, guys. When is it that you want to focus? When is it you have judgment on focus? And what do you believe that focus is for? And why do you need focus? Why do you need focus? Where do you need focus? For me, I was thinking, okay, focus in schoolwork, focus in work, focus on somebody that you're speaking to, focus on activities, focus on being where you are. But then again, all of that sounded to me like being present with what I was doing. But focus was active, where present felt more passive. Focus had judgment, where present is the state of being where we all want to be. So what does focus mean to you all, and what is keeping us from being focused or being present, so we can start to detangle from it? Another, I'm going to just keep sharing with you guys the observations I made until it wakens up your feelings and your emotions and the judgments you might hold upon yourself. You know, that's the way we always do it. So another thing that I recognize with focus is that it's our four bodies. We could be focused or aware, our four bodies, our egoic body. That's when we're meditating, when we're being spiritual, when we're praying. That's focus on the spiritual level. Meditation is a really great way to strengthen our muscle of our focus muscle, our awareness muscle, our ability to deliberately direct our mind to do what it wants it to do. Our mind is the second. Our mind is the second body. So focused thoughts, focused thinking, focused in our processing. Are we able to focus on what we want to do? We're cooking and we're focused on that. We're baking, we're focused on that. We're laundering, we're focused on that. We're working, we're focused on that. Our feelings, focusing on how we feel and not running away from it. I'm angry and I'm going to focus on with that and detangle from it rather than judge from it. So focusing on our physical body. How do we feel when we eat? How do we feel after we eat, before we eat, and starting to break away from that? So focus is in all four of the bodies. So Kim is starting, fantastic, to accomplish something. Fantastic. So Kim, what you're suggesting is focus has a judgment on us being successful or not, because accomplishment has a implicit judgment in there. So now we're focusing to accomplish something. So again, there is some of our triggers, our calibrators, that if we're trying to focus to accomplish, there's a judgment that we hold on ourselves. Every time we hold judgment, there's a resistance. Let's try to break away from that and coming to be. Steve, it's a skill. Anybody can do it. It delivers mastery. Fantastic. It is a skill. But it also, if we recognize it's about being and being present, it's also just our being and our natural state. And a lot of the things that we have conditioned upon ourselves keep us from that natural state. And that's what I want us to get at today. Just like when we got at a creativity, we're all creators. I want to get today focus, we're all focusers. Yes, it's a muscle. Yes, we can deliver mastery. And that's what today is about. That's what meditation is about. That's what InsightTimer is about. That's what exercise and living a healthy life is about. It's about strengthening that muscle to enable us to be. Because ultimately, Steve, you know, and everybody that follows me know that I think the ultimately being is I am. I am. And I think that's where we want to deliver to. I am. So Sarah, that's a great segue into I have severe ADHD and depression, Manal. This is so important for me personally. Fantastic, Sarah. And I want to say this as sensitively as I can. I love labels because it helps us to define and understand ourselves. But the labels also keep us trapped there. So I like using labels as a way to empower us, not disempower us. And ultimately, I want you to get to I am. So the labels that you have given have helped you in certain ways to understand yourself in a diagnostic way that other people or psychology, psychiatry, whatever it might be, that has helped us to understand some of our characteristics. But I want to guide us all to not being limited by those labels and just using them to free us, not to define us. Sarah, let me know if this is hitting you, because sometimes I'm very careful about me not trying to honor. Yes, I think that you're getting it. Fantastic. So we want these labels to liberate us, to empower us, to have us a better understanding of ourselves, but not to limit ourselves. So when you say I have ADHD and depression, what it does, it starts to give you, excuse this language. Sometimes I use language that sort of is black and white, but it's not judgmental. That is giving you an excuse from building your muscle. Your muscle, you might be conditioned physically, genetically, whatever it might be, to develop this muscle that Steve is referring to, but you still have that power, and we will work together to develop it. And first step in that is recognizing the label that you were given to help empower you to understanding yourself physically, genetically, emotionally, mentally, but now you know how to use it as a way to disentangle from it to ultimately to be I am. Beautiful, Sarah. It is about limiting beliefs. And I do know there's power in the labels. But the power is the understanding of the patterns of it and not defining yourself as it, but using it as boundaries, as sort of notes to understand that these mannerisms are patterned, and this is what it means, and this is where you can ultimately build your muscle in a stronger way. So fantastic. So this is important to you, Sarah, and this is important to all of us in different ways, because we all have different conditioning, some different conditioning. Beautiful. I want to turn it into a superpower. That's what I want us all to do, is to turn the things that we thought as limitations, so beautifully said, Sarah, as superpowers. And we all have that within us. And this is what my inspiration is for all of us, to turn ourselves all into superpowers, because we are. Is focus the same as mindfulness, or how might it differ? Kitty, I think it's one of those words that they use right now, mindfulness, mind-body alignment, focus. So it's one of those words that are used to help guide us to understanding what needs to be done to ultimately find alignment, allowing freedom, peace, meditation. But I think it's also misused for us to have judgment on ourselves. Just like people that say, I can't meditate because I can't focus. Yeah, we can. It's all about finding what the best avenue is. So someone like Sarah, who says I have ADHD, maybe music, maybe candles, maybe light, maybe whatever it might be. Maybe I said music, which is hearing. Light might be seeing. Taste, maybe eating. We can choose to be very mindful while eating, which allows us to focus on our body. Everybody will have different clairs, that feeling that really will guide them to being focused. So yes, it is another way to being mindful, because I believe the step one in everything, Kitty, step one in everything is awareness. And awareness is mindfulness. So it's one of those words, but ultimately I think what we're trying to do is come to I am. And we'll use all of the avenues, all the tools that we can to get to I am. Sarah, I have to pack my life and move to another state tomorrow. That was a last minute decision, and I feel so much anxiety and I'm not focused today. Then you've come to the perfect place today, because anxiety is fear that you cannot label. We've been talking about that a lot. So ultimately, label your fear. What are you fearful of? Moving to another state is pretty fearful. Moving is pretty fearful. Packing and seeing all these things from the past and putting it in boxes and moving it is pretty fearful. I just helped one of my neighbors move, and she had lived in the house for over 15 years. And it wasn't my house and it wasn't my things, but it brought up a lot of feelings. A lot of feelings for me. And it wasn't my packing and it wasn't my moving. So what I would offer to you, Sarah, is honor every sensation that comes up, and honor that it is a packing and moving. It is full of excitement and unknowns, and it's full of uncertainty, and it would likely, if you aren't accepting and honoring all of the feelings come up, give you a sense of anxiety, but maybe shift it to like looking, oh, there's a fear. There's a fear of me not knowing whether this is okay. Here's a fear. Here's a judgment of me making the decision really quickly and not sure if I made the right judgment. Just start pointing it out very specifically rather than being general. I feel anxious. Really drill in and say, well, why is that making me feel that way? What is making me feel that way? How is that making me feel that way? And get to the fear and say, oh, there's that fear. Oh, there's that fear. And if you don't have time over the next 24 hours as we're packing today and you're doing your things today, that's okay. Just sort of box it up and say, hey, I see you. I see that emotion. I promise when I get to where I'm going that I'm going to start to feel into you and start to understand. Start to honor our feelings so they don't get layered and layered and layered and layered and layered on top of each other, and then we call it anxiety. That's what anxiety is, guys. No, thank you, Sarah. Thank you for bringing this to all of our collective awareness. Anxiety is layer and 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 layer until we call it anxiety. Jamie, use your resources, Sarah, and ask for help. Jamie, that is a fantastic practical way. I always go with the spiritual, so we come into figuring out where it's coming from spiritually and get ourselves lined up. But there's practical things too. Ask for help. And you have a resistance to it? See why you have a resistance to it. I had a resistance for a long time for asking for help because I felt I should be able to carry it on my own. So see whether you have things like that. Have a packing party, try and let go and just own that this is the best you can do today and you're present. Fantastic, Jamie. That is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, I'm going back because I see I've went through a lot of things. Mary, I've been overeating. It distracts from focusing for the last week. Okay, so Mary, I'm going to ask you if overeating is distracting you from focusing, or if it's okay, this is the question. What is overeating distracting you from? What are you not wanting to become aware of? So overeating is distracting you from focusing. So that's a great, 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 great introduction that we use food, drink, alcohol, tobacco, whatever it might be, from distracting us from being present. We talked about, what discussion was it that we had last week, you guys? And we talked about drugs. Was it during the death or during the creativity, where we talked about the reason that a lot of us are going to a lot of these habits, bad habits, addictions, we can call them whatever, overeating, is because we're suppressing our feelings, suppressing our awareness of our feelings. I usually meditate, and instead of meditating, I eat. Okay, Mary, fantastic. Now, what is it that you're avoiding? What is it that you're avoiding? I don't want to feel anxiety. Beautiful, beautiful. And guys, I love the word anxiety these days, because anxiety, again, we're breaking it down, and maybe we'll do another anxiety live stream. I think we did it last week or the week before. No, last week. This week was creativity and death, so it was the week before. Anxiety is fear that we're not willing to acknowledge. And that fear is usually of death. And that's why we did one on Tuesday about death. We kept going at, beautiful, Mary, avoiding feelings. Well, this is the venue that if you like to avoid feelings, it's probably not good for you. But I say that in joke, because we come at it from a very empowering, loving way. It's our liberation and freedom of our feelings that liberate us. I didn't say that very well, but it's our recognition of our feelings that liberate us. And we have been conditioned to be afraid of our feelings and to judge our feelings. Your feelings are beautiful. All of our feelings are here to calibrate us to our greatest desires. Mary, have you been with me before? Have you been on one of my inspirations, or is this your first time? Because number 2 body, I don't know whether I call it, number it down, up, or up, down, but egoic body, our beliefs and our identity, mental body, our thoughts, our processing, emotional body. This is where we carry our emotions. First time, fantastic, first time. The emotional body is the command center. It is the most exciting, most important. They all are important. I call them the most important, all of them, but just honor me when I call everything the most important. Most important command center. And we have all been conditioned to take our feelings and bottle them up because we're fearful of them. In here, we celebrate our feelings because we recognize that they're here to calibrate us to our greatest desires. 5 steps. 1, awareness, which awareness is a synonym for focus, a synonym for being present. We become a present and we feel our emotions. We feel our emotions. And then our emotions tell us usually what we do not want. So number 2 is acknowledgement. Usually our emotions tell us what we don't want. So Mary, Sarah, all of you that have been talking, everybody that's here, what is it that your most recent emotion has been telling you that you do not want? Easy, I do not want to be in pain. Easy, I do not want to be hurting. Easy, I do not want to be alone. Easy, I don't want to feel bad. Talk to me, guys. What is it that your emotions are telling you you do not want? Because we are conditioned to think and we do not want. And the reason we don't like feeling our feelings is because we associate with them with what we do not want. To help them empower us, we flip the coin and we say, oh, Mary says to be lonely. Mary does not want to be lonely. We flip the coin. What's the opposite of being lonely? What's the opposite? What is the desire? If the lack is to be lonely, what's the positive? To feel connection. Jamie, brilliant, beautiful. Feel connection. So Mary, now we look at our emotion, and instead of feeling bad because we feel lonely, we recognize it's a clue for our desire to be connected. And if you follow me, which you're here today, there's 3 things I think we are all ultimately here for on this journey, which is worthiness, freedom, and love and happiness or peace and joy. So freedom, unconditional worthiness, and unconditional happiness. And lonely sort of falls into actually all 3 of them. Because connection means worthiness, and connection gives us happiness, and connection is a sense of freedom because you're connected to everything and you feel free to express and to be. So lonely actually is all 3 of them. So now you know, oh, this feeling that I have been avoiding for maybe my whole life, maybe my last 5 years, 10 years, it doesn't matter. It's a feeling that's driving me towards connection. Now you see the power of your emotion. Now you see the power. You see the power. And then you appreciate the journey, appreciate life, appreciate why emotions are here. Appreciate. We can work on that in so many ways, and then you can let go of that feeling. And then boom, surrender. Steve, I can't explain my thought on that. What is the emotion? There's one, but I don't know what it is. Okay, fantastic. What is the physical sensation? So some of us, particularly the men, I don't like to stereotype, but I'm going to, particularly since the man that just said it, and Steve, I got you on thought. I don't like to stereotype, but I just did. So safety. Fantastic. Safety. So go into safety, and it's likely fear, Steve. Go into it and just feel it, and feel the fear. So you got it right away. And we're fearful of being feared. We're fearful of being feared. So fear is another one that you get. Resistance. You're fearful of being afraid. That's what sounds better. I was having trouble saying that. We're fearful of being afraid. Honor your fear. Honor the conditioning that has brought you to be and feeling fear. Honor the fact that you are a man and you feel fear. And a woman at your age, I really meant to say your age, not you're a man. You're a man, you're a woman, you're a being that has fear in your adulthood when we actually are expected not to be fearful. Beautiful, beautiful, Steve. Feel the feeling. Sporty Jen, I do not want to feel what is upsetting me inside. Subconscious, I think. Repressed emotions from childhood. Fantastic. We all have it. We all have it. I have it. We all have it. I call myself the teacher. That's what I am here, the teacher. I have it. We all have it. If we don't have it, we are not human. We all have it. So what are we going to do with it? Hide from it? Sure, we can hide from it. Then we layer it and layer it and layer it and layer it and call it anxiety. Then we can't focus and we can't do anything. We can't live and we can't live. And then we end up being, or we could just, hey, what is this here for? How do I help this empower me? How do I allow this to teach me? What is this guiding me towards? Jamie, my fear of pain is crouching on my need for freedom. Beautiful, beautiful. That's exactly what it is. My pain is keeping me from freedom. And that's what life's architecture and design is. You guys are fully living the architecture and design of life. I know those of you that know me know this, but I'm going to say it again because there's some new ones here today. We come in fully dependent as little wee babies. And then life layers and layers on top of us and conditions us with emotion, with experiences, with stories, with all these things. This is the architecture of life. We are living it purely. We're living it wonderfully. The fact that we're all here feeling pain indicates we're human. We are not robots. We are human. But what we want to do is grow and expand to allowing it to be a liberator, an empowerer, to grow and expand from it. Sporty Jen, I'm fearful of being dismissed, not listened to. Fantastic. Where did it come from? Where did this come from? Steve, where did your fear come from? If we're able to go into our bodies and actually find the defining moment that this came from, that's another point of liberation. And you're like, oh, this happened over and over and over and over again, over and over again. And it will until we learn. It will happen over and over and over again until we learn. Steve, yes, fearful of being fearful, afraid. That's messed up. It is messed up. So stop the cycle. Recognize that you're fearful of being afraid. Recognize that first fear and then recognize the fear. So go through that beautiful process until you're not fearful of the fear anymore because you're looking it straight in its eyes. Straight in its eyes. You're looking it straight in its eyes. Anushka, hi Manal, this is my first time here. I just joined the session. I'm able to focus on my studies. I tend to binge eat or resort to distraction. Fantastic. I feel very guilty about it. Beautiful, beautiful. That awareness is powerful. So what you can do, Anushka, is either allow that awareness to continue to cycle itself, or you can break that awareness by first honoring the guilt. See the guilt, recognize the guilt, honor the guilt, and ask the guilt, where did it come from? No different than what I'm talking about with Sporty Jen and with Steve. Where did it come from? Where have you conditioned and calibrated to inviting guilt into your life? I'm sure when you're a young girl at one point, I assume that somehow you were guilty, felt guilty about something, eating, indulging, being, living, whatever it might be. And then that became this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pattern. So, I call it beautiful because the way that we let go of it is by recognizing the beauty of it, by recognizing the liberation of it, recognizing the gift of it, and then we can let it go. So everything that we see negative, I usually call it beautiful because it's the first step, awareness/focus, that ends up allowing you to be liberated from it. Jamie, I'm going to ask for coaches who specialize in physical therapy. Jamie, did I miss something about that? Expand on that one. I went back and I can't see. And I know I missed some comments above. I'm going to go above. Valerie says, good morning, everybody. Sporty Jen, my younger self, early childhood, awful anxiety in tummy today. Very sad. Beautiful. You know what, Sporty Jen, last few ones you've had anxiety. I think we're going to go early. Does everybody want to go early? Are you enjoying this discussion, or do you want to go into your bodies early? I feel that everybody is going straight into recognizing their emotions and where it is today early, and a meditation might be one of the best things to go to straight right away. Let me know how you all think about that, or if you like the conversation. My brain is like, doesn't literally know how to do that. I don't remember it in my mind. Huge emotional distortion. And I think, Steve, you're talking about looking at the fear. Your brain doesn't literally know how to look at the fear, or how to go back in your past. How to go back in your past. A huge emotional distortion. Okay. As much as you can, if it's only all you could do is look at your fear that you're feeling today, and that's too much for you, that's enough for you, then that's all you do, Steve. We're going to keep working until we can go back as far as we can. But if we're only comfortable with staying within today, or the last week, or the last month, we're only going to stay within where your body allows you and wants you to. And again, it's a muscle. It's a muscle. If something happened to us and we went to a physical therapist, we would not be right away doing jumping jacks. We might have to build up our arm strength if we hurt our arm, or build out our leg strength if we're hurt our leg. So that's the same thing with the emotional body. We're not going to go to you being 5 if you're not ready for that. But let's look at the fear for the last year and just sort of feel that feeling and go with it. But so we'll only go as far back as our body invites. Steve, tell me if you like that. Jamie, I get it. You actually have physical pain. Just taking action regarding my fear of moving my body from fear of hurting my back. Beautiful. Absolutely, absolutely. You should see some sort of physical therapist or somebody, and I can help you with it spiritually. We can look at spiritually the fear of hurting your back, and how the fear of the physical is usually freedom. It could be worthiness if it impacts the way that you feel about yourself. But mostly, when there's a limitation in our physicality, it usually indicates a limitation in our belief in freedom. So what we would do is detangle from this limitation and these thoughts, and start to get into recognizing, oh, I see a fear. I feel that fear. I smell that fear. I hear that fear. I like using all the senses that you can to looking into the fear and the pain in your back, the physical pain in your back, and just sort of feeling into the pain in your back. And when you feel into the pain in your back, you open yourself up for some stories from insights, whatever just comes to you. Sometimes you could just know things. Sometimes you could feel things. Sometimes you see things. Just go into your body. And then, because you're comfortable going into your body and feeling it and connecting with it, you start to shift it. You shift it from this resistance to opening up, because you're focusing on it. And with your focus, you're giving it love and compassion and presence. And so that resistance that was in there starts to go, because when you're ignoring it, there's this resistance, but you let it out. You let it out. You let it out. It's almost like this flower that starts to open up. Then you start to understand where it comes from, and then you can let it go. You can be liberated from it. Jamie, does that in any way resonate, and how does that feel? Steve, yes, and yes to what you said. It's funny because I remember everything back to 1-year-old. No kidding. Like state memory, situational, no context though, no conscious awareness. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Our body has a beautiful way of closing out memories that don't serve us, or that we can't be served with it now. And when you're ready to remember, you will remember. So in no way put any judgment on your not remembering, but just doesn't limit you from looking at your fear and inviting your fear and accepting your fear and letting go of your fear and just sort of coming into that state of beautiful being. So Steve, I think that's resonating with you. That's fantastic. And Jamie says, yes, I'm feeling lighter. Thank you for your beautiful attention. Beautiful. You're all amazing. Okay, so I do really feel like from the way that we're speaking, everybody about their bodies, that we should go into our body and then we could talk some more. I also know that I missed a lot of comments, and I'm trying to scroll back and see if there's Sarah talking to me. The Serenity Prayer is a part of my heart and soul now. Beautiful. Let me see. Where did I go? Where did I stop? Sarah said, I've suppressed grief and trauma for years, and we spoke to that, and that's powerful to know. Great explanation of anxiety, layers and layers. Thank you, says Mary. Okay, you guys, okay, I'm going to go back to the bottom. If there's anything that I missed from any of you, because I felt like somebody else had spoken about how they felt, and I can't seem to find it now. And I have trouble sometimes scrolling on this. Okay. I'm having trouble going through it. If I missed any of your comments, or if anybody mentioned anything about how they're feeling or why their focus is not being focused, please share it with me again and bring it back into the window if there's something that you felt was relevant that you'd like us to speak of. So I do feel like I would love for us to have a meditation. Give me with hearts, give me with words if you're ready to go into your body. And really, let's feel into it and let's talk about it, because this focus has got us directly, very quickly into our bodies, which is fantastic. Fantastic. I see some hearts going. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Is there any comments or questions from anybody, especially somebody that hasn't been here before, about what they would, about anything before we go into meditation? Let me know if there's any questions, any comments, anything before we go into meditation. Okay, I'm seeing hearts. I'm seeing an invitation for meditation. Let's go into it. And then after, let's talk about how we feel and anything that has come to the surface from the meditation. Okay, let's start with 3 breaths. I always love starting with 3 breaths because the breaths are the start of focus, and they're helping us to and guide us to focus and being connected with our body. Let's start with taking a beautiful breath of fresh air. Beautiful air, and imagine the universal light just coming and entering your body. Take a deep breath in. And release. Take a second deep breath in and fill your whole body with the universal divine light. Take a deep breath in. Indulge here. I always call this the gap. Infinite presence, focus, love, life, freedom, worthiness. And release. And take a third and final deep breath in. Invite the universal divine light through your whole body. Today we've all entered into this wonderful exploration of focus. And we realize that focus is a tool for being present. But there's a lot of things in our body and our life and our experiences and our past, natural human conditioning, that keeps us from being present, that keeps us from accepting, allowing, being. I invite you to look into your bodies and enter in any way that's easiest for you. If you're aware of a particular physical feeling, your abdomen, For me, I feel it in my jaw, your shoulders, your leg, your back. Sort of go as an observer, as an explorer. Do not overindulge in anything that you feel, but just really become curious. Curious as an observer of what you're feeling and sensing and smelling. Use all your senses. If you are aware of a particular emotion, guilt, shame, anger, sadness, enter through there. If there's a particular story that allows you to access your body or your emotions, an experience from the past, experience from the present, go through that, enter through your thoughts. If there's any limiting beliefs that you carry about not being good enough, not being able to focus, go through there. No matter whether you enter through your body, through your emotions, through your thoughts, through your beliefs, start to become aware of all the dimensions that your body interprets. Your physicality, your emotions, your thoughts, your beliefs. So see with the physical feeling how there's an associated emotion. Or if you came in through the emotion, try to see where you feel that physically. If you came in through your mind, see what emotion that may have triggered and where that's localized in your body, or overall, maybe generally within your whole body. And again, if you came in through your beliefs, see what kind of thoughts are associated with it, where it is in your body, what emotions there are. So again, find the 4 layers where you're physically feeling, the emotional or emotions that you associate with that physical feeling. Invite any thoughts and other stories. You may have entered through one story, or one story might pop up, but you might see a recurring theme of stories that have a similar taste of physical and emotional. Enjoy this exploration and this focus that you're having right now on your body, and opening yourself up to the relationship of your 4 bodies, and recognizing that your body is just a powerful tool. You're going to start to use it more and more and more towards calibrating towards your worthiness, your freedom, and your happiness. Recognize how amazing we are. Our bodies, our experiences, our stories, and how unique we all are. That nobody has the same story. We all have unique stories, no matter where we came from, no matter how related we are. We all have very unique stories and beliefs and expressions of who we are. Celebrate that you're a creator, that you were born a creator, and you're a creator. And a creator means that you fully have the power to express yourself in such a unique fashion. Celebrate the beauty of life. Celebrate the beauty of you. Celebrate your desire to grow and to be empowered and liberated. Celebrate your ability to do and have and make whatever you desire. And it really doesn't matter, because when you're connected inside, what's going on the outside doesn't really matter. Beautiful. At this point, see whether just love on that energy, love on your physical body, wherever it was, the tummy, the back, your shoulders, your jaw, wherever it is, and just love on the human experience and your experience and your better understanding of how you can use all this to liberate you. And just see at this point whether you could just shake it off. And again, anyway, if you want to just shake it off your body, if you want to just actually physically feel as if it's something on you and just let it go back to the light. You're going to take a deep breath in of the universal divine light again. And expel all of the resistance that you connected with. Take a deep breath in. And expel all of the resistance. Take a deep breath in. And expel all of the resistance. You should be feeling lighter now, and maybe you could feel tingling in your body. Just take another scan of your body and see again, do you feel physically any resistance that you weren't aware of now that you're lighter in some areas? See if there's any emotions that popped up, any other emotions, any thoughts, any beliefs, anything that's limiting you from the fullest expression of the beauty of who you are. Sort of feel into it. If you're inspired, you can sort of fly over your timeline and sort of start when you're your mom's womb and see whether you picked up any of the energy that you're connecting with when you were just starting off as a wee little egg, and that you could just feel the circumstances, the life circumstances of your mom and your dad, and just send them love, because just as you're conditioned, they were conditioned too. They did the best that they could, and there's so much judgment that we hold on each other, and we forget that we're all playing this architectural design of life where we pick up things. That life is just a series of conditioning and conditioning and conditioning, and it's up to us to create the life that we want and to liberate ourselves from the stories, and we're doing it together. Fly over yourself as like a baby, your early days, early months, weeks, days, weeks, months. Come into your years. Sort of see if there's any stories that stand out. Go into your teenage years. Send love to your baby self, send love to yourself, send love to those around you as you go through life and you label it as good or bad, and recognize now that it's all good, because it's all helping you to grow and to expand. It's all the beauty of life. It's all the natural unfolding of the beauty of life. Go into your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, wherever you are, 80s, 90s, wherever you are, and just give love. Become curious about any reoccurring stories or feelings. Just love on yourself. Now once again, if there's any energy that you connected with, just let it go. Your body knows how to do it. Again, if you want to just shake it off and let it go. If you want to take a deep breath in, beautiful divine light, and let go. Take a deep breath in and let go. Take a deep breath in and let go. Today it's all about focus, But focus is all about being present and truly trusting yourself and your alignment with your inner power, and trusting your connection with the universal power, whether you call that universe, God, nature, inner being, higher power, doesn't matter what you call it, but truly trusting and allowing and really connecting your connection with self, your infinite powerful self, and the infinite powerful connection with the universe. And recognize that there are stories that have kept you feeling less than free and less than worthy and less than the purity of unconditional love that you are. But we are all born and we are all unconditionally worthy, free, and love. And life is just here to help teach us how to calibrate to that truth, to the power of that. Wonderful. I'm just going to stop for a couple of minutes to just let these feelings, the tingling, the light, anything that you want to feel and go connect with for a couple of minutes. If there's any intentions that you want to create for yourself, just go ahead and set them now. I'll set the intention for us all to recognize that we are brilliant, powerful light, that we all have access to infinite power and love and light, and that all we need to do is allow and be present and just be. And we are all beings. I'll pause. Wonderful. And at this point, I'm just going to count to 5. On 3, open your eyes and come back into this virtual room, and let's just share our observations, how you're feeling. I already see that Steve's written something, and I'm really excited to address it. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. I love, Steve, your comment. These words are in my brain. Is this about healing? Because how do you heal something that's been with you for 40 or 50 years? So, Steve, you know that I usually do not like the word healing, because in that there's an assumption. It's implicit that something is broken, that something is imperfect, that something that is wounded. And I truly think that's what really has been in you for 40 or 50 years is your inner power and your light, and that those other things are just conditioning that we're letting go of. So this is not about healing. This is about calibrating to the truth of who you are. And the truth of who you are is unconditional love, unconditional light, unconditional beauty, unconditional worthiness, unconditional freedom. So what the work is about calibrating to the truth of who we are. It's not about healing. If we are looking to heal, we will never heal, because we'll always be healing and we'll always be wounded. None of us are broken, but we have not calibrated to our truth. And everybody's expression of truth is different. That's what makes us uniquely beautiful. So I'm not going to tell you how to sing your truth, but what we're going to do is work together to align to our unconditional truth. And that's our freedom, that's our worthiness, and that's our love. So Steve, tell me if that calibrates with you. I see the heart, so some of that resonated with others. I don't want us to heal. I do not want us to heal. I want us to recognize that we're healed. I want us to recognize that everything that's happened to us is for a reason, and start to see that reason and start to grow from that reason and start to be free from that reason. I want us to start to align with the truth of who we are. And what's happened to you 40 or 50 years ago, Steve, isn't the truth of who you are. It's impacted you, absolutely. All of our conditioning's impacted us. But it's our opportunity to break through and to see the beauty of who we are is what this life journey is about. Steve, talk to me. How does that feel? Were you able to connect with the feelings that you had in your body? Sporty Jen, focus on your inner power. Fantastic. Were you able to get at your abdomen? You keep getting energy in your abdomen. Were you able to get it, Sporty Jen? You call it your tummy, I think you said your tummy. And was there any specific insights that you want to share? So if anybody connected with anything and had insights, have any questions, have any feelings, now's the time. Let's let it all out. Steve, words get in the way. I'm a man. There's something wrong with us, that we need something to put in our heads to fix it. Yes, connected, feel vulnerable here. That's beautiful. Yeah, there's nothing to fix. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing to fix. We're calibrating to the amazing truth and the fullest expression of who you are. And you know, again, how do you fix something that's been with you? It's been with you, but it is not you. Let me ask you, Steve, what do you think you are? So something's been with you, layered on top of you, but what do you think you are? What are you? And everybody answer, what are we? What are you? Sporty Jen, no, still there. Think my sadness is the dominant emotion today, but I really liked what you said about our inner power. Sporty Jen, go into your abdomen right now. Steve, not, if you want to say identity, sure, but I mean deeper, spiritually. What are we? Sporty Jen, go into your body. And actually, we're all going to. Steve, go with, actually, all of us. So Steve says you're still a child. Beautiful. So what we need to do, Steve, is, oh my God, I'm going to cry, is for you to align with, even when you're a child, I sometimes think that children are more powerful than adults because they're more aligned with the truth of who they are and the full expression of who they are and their innocence and the truth of what life is more than adults. So ultimately, if you think that you're a child, it's actually a bit powerful, except for the fact that you have a judgment on a child being less than. So let's break away from this. So everybody, so Jen still has something in her abdomen, and Steve is that child. So I want us all to go into our bodies again. Everybody just go into your bodies. Go into either the emotion, the story, the feeling. Go into it. Sporty Jen says it's sadness. So go physically into it. Ask it what it would like you to learn today. Invite it to share with you what it would like you to learn. just be ready to receive it in any way. Might come immediately now, might come the rest of today's inspiration, it might come tomorrow, it doesn't really matter. Just sort of ask your body, invite it, what would you like me to learn? What is this energy, this story, this feeling of being stuck, this need to heal? I'm putting quotes in there. What are you guiding me to learn? Ask it how long it's been with you and how long you have not seen it. Recognize that it's taken a lifetime to get where you are, and that you'll honor the time that's for your highest good for you to calibrate to your truth. And that's speaking to you, Steve. What if it keeps coming up? We're going to honor the journey. We're going to honor the journey of building that muscle and reinforcing the truth of our worthiness and freedom and love. This is the human journey. We're going to honor that the human journey is about calibration to truth. And we're going to have no judgment on the time it takes us to learn whatever we need, because some of our initial conditioning was extreme. Steve, your childhood was extreme conditioning. So we're going to honor the journey it takes to detangle from that extreme conditioning, with no judgment on time, with no judgment on skill, with no judgment on the resistance. Just journey and just watching us calibrate higher and higher with more ease. Jamie, I sense a fear of being swallowed by the depth of sorrow that could be there. Feel it, fear of feeling apart. Fantastic. 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 And just sort of honor it. Say, hey, fear, I see you, and I see the fear of being with you. And it's that fear that keeps you there. Steve, what if? I'm not sure is the thought, I mean. Fantastic. Honor your doubt. Honor your fear. Honor your doubt. Honor your shakiness, guys. It's shaky. We're building that muscle. It's almost like we were doing a plank or something and we're becoming shaky. That's fine. We can wobble. We're building it together. We're building these muscles together. And for some of us, this is the first time that we've talked and engaged in this way. For some of you, this is the first time that we've ever looked into our body and honored our emotions and asked it what it's asking, what it's guiding us towards, and looked at it as from a place of love. So honor that. It's okay. But we're going to build it and build it and build it. Steve, today you're far, far, far further than you have been in the past with your ability to understand and to question and to feel it. I see. I can feel. I can feel. Sporty Jen too, I can see it. That rather than saying I'm feeling and you're detached from it, you're actually going to the root of it. It's so powerful. We're building it together. It's almost like we're building a new home. 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, an apartment building, whatever it is, we're building it again. We're reinforcing it. It's okay for us to take the time. Steve, tell me if that spoke to you. Jamie, uncertainty, beautiful, beautiful. Guess what? That uncertainty, probably, I'm going straight to the cliff notes, and tell me if you want me to go slower. It's because we've done so many of these, I know where it goes. That uncertainty is likely a fear of death. Tell me if it resonates. If not, let's break it down slowly until you get there. But ultimately, the reason we had talked about death on Tuesday is a lot of the fear with time falling apart, the depth of sorrow, a lot of that is death. And the conclusion that we had on death is life is death, and death has life, and it's one of the things that we can't control. And that ultimately falling into trust of that greater power, Jamie, I don't know your spiritual beliefs, Doesn't matter if it's nature, universe, God, whatever it might be, doesn't matter. And your connection with your inner power is where the beauty is. Mary, mine is to stop absorbing other people's problems, to not being a dumping ground for others, to honor my being. Fantastic, Mary. Fantastic. Beautiful. Beautiful. And then I'd like to ask you, why do you absorb other people's problems? Is it for your sense of worthiness? Is that you feel that by carrying other people that you're worried? Let's try to figure. I used to think I'd be abandoned if I didn't talk to others. Beautiful. So abandonment, worthiness, beautiful. Freedom, beautiful. Beautiful. Now, what do you think now? Sporty Jen, my heart is pounding. Why is your heart pounding? And did you get to your abdomen? Because I think we were going into our body and I think we may have distorted. Did you get into your abdomen and get into your sadness? I really want us to get to this because it's been with you for a while. And tell me if it let you. Steve, what came up? The question you asked to us. You asked us to ask. I'm safe now. The words, don't tell anyone. Shame feeling now. What came up with a question you asked us to ask? I'm safe now. The words, don't tell anyone. Shame feeling now. Beautiful. Steve, beautiful. I'm going to infer, and tell me if this is the right inference, is that there's a lot of shame that you have from your past. That you are bad and that you did bad. And we all carry shame from the past. It's a natural human feeling. Again, you had extreme childhood experiences. Full stop. We're not in any way disrespecting the intensity of the lack of safety that you had in the days that the full expectation is for you to be safe. But that means as a human, as a powerful adult, there are some big things that you're trying to line up with. Your conditioning, people that have extreme conditioning, I've said it and I'll keep saying it again, there's big power that they're aligning with. So Steve, I know that there's big power and big meaning for your stories. So shame is what you're feeling. I'm bad. I'm bad. I'm bad that this happened to me. I'm bad that I allowed this to happen. I'm bad that this happened. I'm bad that the life chose me in this way. I'm bad. Okay, you're bad. I feel stripped like in a way. I'm thinking that I'm not thinking that I'm thinking that, but yes, of course, too small, you said, of course. Steve, fantastic. Steve, feel into your shame and ask yourself what your shame is telling you. That's what I'm going to say to you. Mary, yes, I have the right to be free and to be me. Beautiful. Now, Mary, when you assert that, does that feel clean or is there energy with that? So there's a lot of things with the work that I inspire us all to do. I only like affirmations if they're clean, if they're not resistant. So I'm going to ask you if there's any resistance in there or not. GESS, guess. Strip away those negative messages. What negative messages are you referring to, guess? And is that a message that came to you, or is that a message that you're sharing with all of us? Tell me more. Jamie, yes, I agree. The rough childhood gives us powerful gifts once alchemized. Exactly, I believe that. So Steve, feel into your shame and tell you what your shame is from and what it's sharing with us and what it's growing you towards and what it's trying to calibrate you towards. So everybody, how are you feeling? Sporty Jen, you're looking into your abdomen. How is it feeling? Steve, you're looking into your shame. Guess, you're telling me about what those negative messages, and everybody else, whatever you want to share, whatever you're aware of, bring it to the surface. Don't speak that's what I feel like. Don't breathe, don't think. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. This is all coming together. So you've been conditioned to not be there, to be invisible. Because when you're not, it's going to be, when it's not, you'll either invite, I'm going to say, the only word that's coming to me is abuse. So you've been conditioned to be invisible because otherwise you invite being unsafe. So you're not safe to be. You're not safe to express. You're not safe to breathe, to think. Beautiful. I'd like you to feel deep into that. It came to me as Steve was feeling shame and feeling stripped. Maybe what we should strip and shed and expose is the negative. Yes. And guess I'm going to even take it further. The negative is positive. There is no negative. This is all teaching us who we are and calibrating us towards the truth. These layers that we're getting to are layers that are keeping us from our full flow. So if we call it negative, then we see it as something that's not wanted. But actually, when we start to see it as wanted, as clues to liberating us, then it becomes very empowering. So ultimately, we want to let go of all the negative, but the only way we do it is through honoring it and seeing it and feeling it, just like we've been doing today. It's like, oh, let me feel my body. Oh, let me honor that. Let me see the resistance that Sporty Jen is feeling her abdomen. What is that? Oh, that's sadness. Where is that from? Oh, it's from loss. Steve is feeling this. Oh, wow. And I don't think Steve even said where he's feeling anything. So Steve is so powerful. It's all coming from his knowing. So he's getting it from his mind. It's all coming from his knowing. So Steve, tell us, where is it coming from? I don't think your body is, and now I understand why. You've been conditioned to be minimal, to minimize being seen. So now I want you to come into your inner power and to recognize, oh, that's an old conditioning. I have infinite, beautiful power. And we're going to calibrate to that and then see how that feels. So Steve, tell me if you're with me, and guest, tell me if you're with me. Jamie, I am free and my body has a limit, but I am limitless. Okay, Jamie, work with me. Why do we have to focus on your body's limit? Maybe when we focus on the limitlessness, then your whole body will have limitless. Okay, beautiful. Pain. So instead of saying my body has a limit, let's say that my body is speaking to me. Pain is when we suppress our emotions, over time, it's going to be physical pain. So what we're going to say is my body is telling me things and I have to start to listen to it. And it might take me a while because I wasn't listening to it for a while. Like Steve, how many sessions ago, he couldn't say, I can't speak, I can't breathe. And I wouldn't been able to interpret from him that he's invisible and frozen and hidden. And now we're starting to get some more insight into some of the conditioning. So your body pain, when you limit it, then you're going to limit its expression to you. We want to open it and see its unlimitedness. And I see you saying, oh, yes. So what I don't want us to have is beliefs that continue to limit us. I'm free and I'm limitless. Your body has pain. That's your back. Great. Tell me back what you want me to know. Why am I? Ultimately, pain, guys, is energy that's not flowing. Okay, I'm going to say what I believe. I believe we're energy. I believe that we're light. I believe that we're all vibration. And I've done one about vibration and why I believe that. And at least minimal, we are vibrational expressions. We're vibrational expressions because every sense that we take in and we feel is through vibration. So at least in minimal, we are vibrational processors. That's what I call processors, vibrational processors, minimal. Pain is the movement not coming through. It's energy not through our body. So Jamie, when it's in your back, that's your root chakra, your second chakra, your third chakra. It could be up until your fourth and your fifth. It's your whole back. It's your spine. And through all of those parts is all of your chakras. Because the root starts at the butt of the spine. And it goes up to the throat chakra. So that basically, it means that energy is not moving. So what we're doing together is finding ways to move energy. Simple, easy, clean. But it's not bad. And it's not, you don't have physical limitations. Your pain is here to express and to share. And some of us get emotional pain, and some of us get physical pain. Some of us get mental pain. Some of us get spiritual pain. Doesn't matter what type of pain you have. Let's use it as a means of recognizing that it is communication, indication of where to allow energy to flow. Jamie, tell me if you like that. You guys tell me if you're with me on that. I get whirly with that. A therapist had to teach me what safety is by explaining that what is not. It is not being in violence. I don't really understand that. Sorry for True Talk. Steve, do not ever be sorry for this. This is not, we thank you for True Talk. Yeah, it seems to me that you've been conditioned, and you know that you and I spent some time afterwards a few sessions ago talking and your homework, you had two homeworks. One homework was to see whether or not you truly were or were not safe. And this is what you're saying to me. A therapist told you that you have to redefine what safe is. And that you have defined the violence as a natural part of human safety. No, it's not. So yes, you need to redefine. You need to define what the truth of safety is. It's a language that you were not taught. If, for example, sometimes I say we speak English, but maybe it's Hawaiian. It's a different dialect, a different language even. So you have never been taught truly what safety is. But now as the adult man that you are, you can calibrate to it and we can figure it out and work it together. So maybe, Steve, what I'd offer to you is, when is the time that you have ever felt? Let's not use the word safe. I'm trying to find a synonym. If anybody wants to help with that, maybe the expression of who you are, maybe the ability to talk freely and share freely. When is the first time, or when's the time that you can bring, that you could bring to your mind a time that you could to express yourself? Okay, here's some synonyms coming. Protected, held, nurtured, seen, provided for, protected. So Mary said protected, and Emma, I like yours. Held, nurtured, seen. I like seen. I really like seen, because Steve is actually articulating not being seen, like not being safe to breathe and to be seen, provided for, protected. Meta is saying ease. I like ease too. So Steve, when can you calibrate? Can you bring to your memory a time that you can calibrate most of being able to express yourself freely, to be seen, to feel at ease, protected, connected? Everybody that's ever felt insecure in any way, physically, emotionally, speak to that too. Jamie, blocked energy with the alert of pain to signal me to open up. Beautiful, Jamie, beautiful. Let's not look at it as a limitation to your body, but look at it as your body communicating to you, and you're learning this language. We're all learning the language of our body. We're all learning the language of emotions. We're all learning the language of mind and spirit together. We're all learning it together, and we're all going to honor the evolution, the natural evolution of it on its natural path, on the time that's right for you, for whatever is meant for you. Beautiful. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. There's always been moments, adolescence, 30s, but then I always had to go back home, so not really free-ish. Okay, fantastic. What we want to do is calibrate to those moments, not to the ones of going home, but the moments. And I remember once a time ago you saying that your aunt was one woman at one time that gave you unconditional love. We want to calibrate to that aunt, if I remember correctly. Tell me if I remember correctly. I think I do, because I remember saying, Manal, you didn't take advantage of that point that Steve said that he had actually calibrated to unconditional love from an aunt once. That once is enough to calibrate us. She was wicked awesome, fantastic. That's your calibrator. That's the calibrator. I remember kicking myself afterwards. I'm like, we didn't leverage that aunt memory. That's the calibrator. That's the calibrator to the beauty of life, the beauty of the human being, the authenticity of what we are, the journey that we are, the truth of who we are, the beauty of who we are. Nice like you, Steve. You're an amazing man. Good, good, good. You need to use her to calibrate to your truth of who you are, to the beauty of who you are. Fantastic. Jamie says, yes, let it in. Let us all in, our aunts. I think I've been told a few times I'm the favorite aunt, which always brings me such glee from that, because there's a beauty of being an aunt different than being a mom. There's a beauty of being a mom, and the grandmom. I'm not a grandma yet, but I know that's beautiful too. Anyway, and uncles and dads, whatever it might be. But the whole point is calibrate with that. Everybody, there's something in our life that we have felt, the security, the connection, the happiness, the freedom, the worthiness that we're looking for. We all have it. That's what we use to calibrate. Even if it was such a sliver relative to our whole experience, because that sliver is enough for us to calibrate to. Emma, what a lovely archetype for us all to tune to. An auntie with unconditional, wicked, awesome love. Absolutely, absolutely. And all of us, if you had that auntie, if you had that uncle, if you had that pseudo auntie, that pseudo uncle, you just go that and love her and love that for all of you. Fantastic. Okay, you guys all really love the auntie thing. So did I. So did I. Especially since I'm an auntie and I love my nieces and nephews. I do. Okay, so how are we feeling? Steve, how are you feeling? And can you calibrate to that? Because that's your calibrator. That's going to be your calibrator. Whenever you feel that fear and that lack of security, you've got a calibrator. And she was sent by the universe. She was sent by the universe to give you something to calibrate to. And we were all given things to calibrate to when we least expect it, when our resistance is down, when we're not focused on our back pain, Jamie, when we're not focused on things, the universe delivers to us things that are here to free us, to free us. So how are we all feeling? I'm feeling fantastic. Steve, I think you really let out some great, fantastic energy. How is everybody feeling? What are you thinking? Is there anything that you feel to the surface? Talk to me. Steve, you are a character. You don't play, but know how to have fun. Feels like respectful to me. I don't know if I could calibrate. Could you use other words? I don't know. Remember the purity of her wickedness, awesomeness, love. Remember her intention to love you and care for you. Remember her ability to see you for who you are, not for what you experienced. You're still holding yourself, and all of us do this. I do it too. We all hold ourselves to our experiences as measuring who we are, as opposed to us being who we are. Again, we are all holding ourselves to seeing ourselves in limitations based on our experiences rather than who we are. And I'm going to come back to the words that Steve said earlier. And I don't remember exactly what it was, but Steve, you said, how do I let go of something that has been with me for 40 or 50 years? Well, that's a experience that's been with you 40, 50 years. That's not what you are. You're infinite power. We are infinite power, infinite light. We are amazing. We are human beings that are here to experience and enjoy the human experience and journey. And conditioning has kept many of us from it. But you are not what happened to you. You are who you are. We are who we are. We are not our stories. We are light, we are freedom, we are worthiness, we are beautiful. We are not our stories. The stories are helping us to calibrate. That's why people have traumatic events, deaths, divorces, whatever it might be, illness, losses, to help us calibrate to internally, not external. All of these happen to internally calibrate us because we're all calibrating externally. So guess what, guys? Everything that happens to us does not define us. We are amazing with or without what has happened to us. Our journey is to disentangle from the conditioning and from those stories and from those experiences as defining of who we are. And to calibrate to, I am amazing. I am awesome. I am freedom. I am worthiness. I am love. I am life. I am. How does that feel, guys? Meta, came in late feeling muscles have chronically wrapped around heart in attempt to protect. This is what pain is telling me. Meta, that's absolutely beautiful. So many of us have created a fortress around our heart to protect us from love. But what I would suggest at a certain time, that is no longer protecting us, but that is hurting us from love. And I can tell you that was how I conditioned I kept myself, and I had a fortress. One of my dearest girlfriends, we just worked together to release the cage that she had around her heart that kept her from being who she are. So initially, that protection probably was needed, particularly if it was things that happened when you were younger that ultimately was the best way for you to cope because you weren't mature enough. So Steve, a lot of what you dealt with, you weren't mature enough to know that safety wasn't what you were experiencing. It takes you, look, you're an adult still dealing with it. So Meta, what we'll do is work together to feel that and to feel the restriction. And there's a lot of meditations that I have that says, hey, put the heart, let the heart lead, but the heart can't lead when it's got this fortress around it. So what we're going to do, Meta, is just keep understanding where that pain came from, where the stories are, love it, appreciate it, recognize it, see it, feel it, till it goes. It has no power once we acknowledge it. Today it's all about focus, and it's through focusing on it, becoming aware of it, appreciating it, acknowledging it, that ultimately we can let it go. So Meta, tell me if you're with me and how that feels to you. But I see you. I love to use all the five senses. Meta says telling it, I see you. I like to say, I see you, I smell you, I taste you, I hear you, I feel you. Because all of our senses, whether we're aware or not, all of our senses are. And it sort of opens me up regardless of what my body consumed, or if there was a sense that triggered that feeling, that emotion, we're sensing it. Emma, yes, like fully sensing through it rather than looking for ways around it. Absolutely, Emma. Rather than not wanting to see it, burying it, hiding it, and then it comes up as pain, physical pain or chronic pain, or just avoiding it. Yeah, see it. Oh, I see you. Again, acknowledge what you don't want until you can acknowledge what you do want. Seeing it from the desire, not the lack of desire. This is key. The pain is telling us something that we don't want. We need to recognize it's pointing us towards what we do desire. Softening it through the senses, Meta, beautiful. Then we appreciate that this is here for a reason. It's for our growth and our expansion. That life is all about learning and conditioning, and that nothing is bad. I am not bad. Steve, I am not bad. All of us, Sporty Jen, I am not bad. Meta, Emma, we are not bad. Jamie, we are not bad. We are not bad. All of us, we're not bad. It's life. It's conditioning. It's just the way it is. It's okay. And then we can let it go. When we truly feel it, we can't affirm it to go away, guys. I'm never going to say we can affirm it. We can't. Affirmations without feeling are zero. Although I did consider that we're going to do the fake it till we make it, because I do like some elements of it, and we'll sort of talk to it because I think there's some truth in it, but there's not truth into it if you can never shift emotionally. And the fake it till you make it is sort of like trying to shift it mentally so you could shift it emotionally. But if you can never shift it emotionally, guys, it will never go. Emma, once in a very ouchy yin pose, my teacher said something great. Sensation is just information. Don't get attached. Exactly. Beautiful. Love that. And Emma says, I love that. Softening through senses, Meta. Beautiful. I love that too. That is fantastic. Guys, focus is all about awareness. Awareness is all about honoring. Honoring is about everything that we see is okay. Everything is okay. Everything is okay that's happening to us. As long as we take that information, don't get attached to it, as Emma's yoga teacher said, and Emma just shared, and just acknowledge what it's here for. Sandra, change the words till you believe it. Yeah, there's a few things. What we talked about the other day with addiction is that there is a value to some of the labels that you use. So for example, the 5 steps, one is I am an addict, like I am an addict. And there is power in that as long as it brings up awareness. Because remember how I said when we did our meditation, whether it comes in through your body, whether it comes in through your emotions, whether it comes in through your mind, And sometimes you use your mind for it to waken up about other emotions. Congratulations, Sandra. 3 years in recovery today. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Congratulations to you today. And then can we say 33 years in strength, Sandra? 33 years in alignment with your truth? 33 years in your power? Maybe even longer, however old you are. Congratulations, Emma says. Absolutely fantastic. Let's calibrate you to a higher level of strength and purpose and alignment with your inner power. Let's calibrate you now to your strength and your courage and your focus. Let's calibrate you now to your inner alignment. I think it's beautiful. Sandra, no, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you for sharing with us. Oh my God, I'm feeling tingles all over. Beautiful. Okay, so how is everybody feeling? I was on a line and I think I broke it. I don't remember what that line was. So if anybody reminds me of the line that I was on. Oh, when we were talking about addiction, you might use that I am an addict to bring up the emotion. So you could start to use words and say, oh, I am ashamed. I am bad. And you only say that to awaken the emotions so you can go in. And then you calibrate to truth. So you might use negative identity to help pull out the feeling and to also bring in acceptance. Because ultimately we want to move to acceptance. So we can use these different tools and labels to help guide and empower us. How does that feel? How does that feel? So how is everybody feeling? Sandra, wow, fantastic. Use it. Use the labels. Use the shame. Use the guilt. Use the fear to dive into your body and to awaken it. Jamie feels alive. Fantastic. Jamie, is this your first time or did you just change your profile pic? Because I know that there's a Jamie that sometimes comes. I'm not sure. Guess. I don't know if I'm saying guess, if I'm supposed Jamie first time. Okay, there's another Jamie as well. Good, welcome to you. Guess, is that how I'm supposed to say it? I don't know if it's just initials. You're feeling lighter. Emma, I love that. It reminds me of EMDR. There are checkpoints we can use. Fantastic. Exactly. They all say the same things, guys. We can't all be saying different things. We all say the same thing, but we just say it differently. And then I've developed my own set of language and my own way of seeing things because I've taken the Eastern and the Western and just sort of things just sort of came to me. But how can we all say the different things? It's all one body, one life, one Adam and Eve, one succession of being human. It's only one. So, everybody is exactly, Jamie. It's all about truth. And we can't say truth differently. Meta, yes, see the caged heart. So Meta saying, see the caged heart. I wanted to break it away, which created more of the same. Sensing as suggested created a natural dissolving of the pain, which just an intense gripping desire for security. I'm going to read that again. Sensing the caged heart. Yes, you want to sense the caged heart. You want to see that you are protecting yourself and recognizing that maybe that was a great way to take care of yourself X number of years ago, that's all you had the capacity for, but now it's not protecting you because true protection isn't not needing to be protected because you're aligned with your inner power. And alignment is allowing. You do not need protection. You just need connection with the greater, connection with yourself. So you don't even need protection. You need connection. And you are connected. It's not even a need. Break away from it because it created more of the same. Fantastic. Cage heart created cage heart. Again, what we were talking about with Jamie about the energy not flowing. So you're not allowing your heart chakra, which is the most important chakra because it's the connection. The heart chakra is a connection between spiritual and your physical. It is the one that allows movement between your whole body. It's so incredibly crucial, your heart chakra, your heart and love and compassion to move. Sensing as suggested created a natural dissolving of the pain, which was just an intense gripping desire for security. Oh my God, that is so deep. So Meta says, sensing that cage, as I suggested, created a natural dissolving of the pain. So the second you go into that resistance, it breaks away because that resistance just wants to be seen. Like Steve, that just wanted to be seen as a baby or learned not to be seen, but we all just want to be seen. So once we sense our resistance, boom, we take away its power. And it was just an intense, gripping desire for security. And we don't need security because we are connected. We're connected to infinite power. We are connected to it. We don't need security because we are infinite power. That is amazing, Meta. Fantastic and wonderful. Wonderful. And I've got a lot of meditations. If you join us with Attaining Your Authentic Life, so the group that I have for all of us to talk this language and to grow is Attaining Your Authentic Life. I will point you to some of the meditations that I have that are particularly geared at opening the heart chakra. And then when your heart is ready, actually putting your heart to lead your mind, your ego, and your body and getting them all in alignment. So fantastic. Join all of you that are new to Attaining Your Authentic Life, and all of you that haven't joined, join. It's where we communicate where live streams are going to be, share our before thoughts, our after thoughts, and just really create a conduit for us to speak this new language in a safe setting. And again, once we change the language, we realize that focus isn't a thing. We're not going to give power to focus. It's about being present. It's about being aware. And focus is another one of those words that's a tool for ultimately our desire for awareness and being and presence. And so we don't judge ourselves for not being focused because we just are. We're just beings. We're powerful. We're just powerful as we are. So we don't need to judge ourselves on a natural tool. So now do you all agree? Tell me if you all agree that finding focus is a misnomer. And a lot of times I struggle with the title because I know I want to create a title that we could all relate to, so it invites participation. But also at the end of the day, I'm like, ooh, that's not what finding focus. It's a tool, but it's not about focus. It's about being present and being aware. And that's ultimately what it's about. Tell me if that resonates and how that feels. Talk to me. Give me hearts, give me words, give me whatever it might be. How is everybody feeling? I feel complete today. I feel that we met today's intention of recognizing that we just need to let go of the judgment that we hold on ourselves, on our ability to focus, and just use our senses, our 5 amazing senses, and just be in touch and connected with our awareness and our presence, our sense of presence. Jamie, yes, focus and pain and love and letting go is all human. It's all human. We're human. Steve, I feel like I want to connect superficially. Whatever, in most all ways with people, but there's always this invisible block. I know it's from this conditioning, which has been most of my life. Steve, yeah, it's part of your natural conditioning, and recognize your desire for true connection, because the fact that you're bringing it up is a beautiful recognition of your growth. And I bet you in the past you didn't want to connect with people. So tell me, are you saying that you do recognize that you do want to connect superficially, or you're recognizing that since you're calling it superficial, that you actually do want to connect with people because you're recognizing it's superficial and you want to get past the superficial? So even though I know that you said, I feel like I want to connect superficially, it actually, the fact that you use superficial, which is a judgment on connection, I feel like you really are saying, I want to connect, but I've learned not to trust. And how do I trust? Tell me if that's what you're saying. Tell me, speak to me. Jamie, I agree. Keep discovering and uncovering. You're doing great, Steve. You are doing fantastic, Steve. You are doing fantastic. So I want you to tell me, yes, of course I like people except weasels, but yeah, cordially and deeply. Fantastic. So Steve, I'm going to offer this to you. And this is for all of us. That when we do not trust, it's not others that we don't trust, it's us that we don't trust. And ultimately, what we want to condition to is to trust ourselves, to know whether we're in good relationships or not good relationships, safe relationships or not safe relationships, that the relationships that we hold, I always have told my children, find relationships. Some you're gonna let them in arm's length. Some you might let them in a bit closer. Some you'll connect to your heart, some to your mind. Another analogy I'll say is some people you won't let into your house. Some you'll let them into your family room. Some you might let them into your kitchen. Some you might let them into your basement. And very few you'll let them into your bedroom. So just find and trust that you'll know how to calibrate people to the integrity and the authenticity and the worthiness isn't a good word, but to the truth of who they are. And trust that you are building your muscle to be able to trust yourself and trust all the relationships. And when you get into a relationship that doesn't serve you, you know how to end it, create those boundaries, and there was nothing wrong. It was just you continue to grow and condition and learn, build that muscle to your strength. So it's not about trusting others. It's about trusting yourself. And I love people. I love people. And there's a certain character that really turns me off. It's usually that person with the ego, but I don't mind people with ego, but people with an ego that see other people as less than. That particular character where there's it's so interesting that I have very little tolerance for. But for the most people, I can tolerate most of their limitations and see it as beautiful. But there's a certain character, and it's really interesting that that particular character has a particular resonance, negative resonance in me. And I keep trying to figure that out because obviously it says something about me and not about them. I think it's because I really see us all as equal. We're all equal. And having anybody believe that they're better than others because of their insecurity is just, dude, do you not see it's your insecurity that makes you need to feel that you're better than others? Because at the end of the day, we're all equal. Children, babies, animals, nature, humans, we're all equal. We're all equal. There's all equal. We all are. So anyway, it's interesting energy. So my point, Steve, as I digress, as I talk about about people that just learn whether the people that you think that you're trusting, whether they turn out to be, whether there's something within you that still doesn't, whether you end up having to create boundaries or that you let people in more, and just start to learn. And there's a part of you that you said earlier that is a child and that's still learning, and there's some elements that haven't matured to the point of the man that you are, and just honor the journey of you starting to learn how to ride a bike. And that bike is a bike ride of connecting with friends and people and opening your heart and trusting yourself into relationships and enjoy the beauty of it. Enjoy the beauty of it. And one of my biggest calibrating is trying to recognize what were other humans for if everything was inside. So, everybody's like, when you start you're learning about mindfulness and meditation and stuff, it's like everything that happens is about you. Everything is about you. Everything's about you. Then I'm like, well, what's for you? What are other people for? If like anytime you feel anger or anything is about you, then you just go in. Then I'm like, no. Humans and other people and friends, they make life better and funner, and it's so wonderful to do things in connection and do things in collaboration. Even today, what we did together was so beautiful, and everybody sharing and connecting and engaging. It's absolutely beautiful. So humans and pets and nature are all here for us to amplify our life experience. So Steve, enjoy your journey to building that muscle that many people build when they were younger, but you're building when you're older, and it's okay. Metta. In my tradition, we say, may I be free from the inferiority, I had trouble saying that word, complex. May I be free from the superiority complex. May I be free from the equality complex. Beautiful. Love it. And what's that tradition, Metta? Because I do love it. And basically it's saying let go of complex and just be. Let go of any complex and just be. May I be free from the inferiority complex. May I be free from the superiority complex. May I be free from equality complex. Just be free. Just let go of complexes and just be free. Beautiful. Thai Nut Han. Okay, love it. Plum Village. Love it. Jamie, it was so fun, and I'm so thankful for all of you. Fantastic. I am too. Steve, do you feel calibrated, and are you ready to start to explore your relationships? Is everybody feeling happy? Is there anything on anybody's mind that they'd like to say? Don't puff up. Don't shrink down. Just be. Jamie, love it too. Don't puff up. Don't shrink down. Just be. Just be. Just love. Just accept. Just find. Just flow. Just allow. Just surrender. Just accept. I feel okay, alert. Fantastic. Alert is better than fearful. So just feel that into that alertness, because alertness isn't allowing, and just do the same thing that you did with your fear, with your alertness, until you come to ease. I wish I had a list of all those words that we all said that were synonyms for security, but ease is what came to me then. And Steve, you know how I say this is it. You can't go like this because we're human, but we're going to go like this. I do see you're on an upward. I do see your upward, and I see your ability to articulate, and your desire for freedom is just calibrating to a higher level. So I see you. I see you. Jamie says she feels like dancing. Fantastic. You go out and you dance. Wonderful. I feel fantastic. I feel like I really enjoyed where focus took us today. Never know where we're going to go. I love that we went into our body early, that everybody was feeling really quite quickly the energy that they were feeling within their body. Joy in attaining your authentic life. Let's keep the conversation going. Tuesday, we're talking about something that I don't remember. Might be about dealing with other people's pain, or it might be something else. But Tuesday and Thursday, I've got live streams that are scheduled. So I'd love for you all to come. I've also been curious about if there's any particular meditations that you're looking for that would help you on a daily basis. So if anybody has any ideas in this window, please, or on attaining your authentic life. If there's any subjects for future inspirations, let me know as well. Always happy to come up with new inspirations for the live stream. Most of the topics that we get are from all of you, so let me know if there's something that you'd like us to talk about. Steve, you know what? You are right. The heart wall thing is intriguing. That is fantastic, what Meta was talking about. Caging our hearts, protecting our hearts. Okay, we'll do something that is intriguing. And you know what? It's something that we all do. We're all protecting ourselves from pain, and we do it by putting up a wall in our hearts. Yeah, we all do. We put up a wall, a fortress, the fortress around our hearts that's protecting us. Yes, I will schedule something for that. I think right now my inspirations are up through the end of September, so I'll put something on the calendar for October, unless I do another weekend, so we'll see. But that is a great idea. Any other topics? Everybody feeling good? See the hearts going on. Well, you are all amazing. I absolutely love these inspirations. They give me such a renewed energy and beauty in our human journey, and recognition that we're all here. We're all doing our best. We're all amazing. Our best is good enough, regardless of where we are and what we're doing. And yesterday, I was at Oak City Cares. It was on the weekends they feed those in need breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And my son and I did it for a group that we're in. And there was some man that was on the phone, and he was not happy, and a story about being in jail and losing his child, and he was calling what it appeared to be the mother of the child, and was really upset. And so after he finished his call, me and my son were on the coffee section. And so the phone was over here. After his phone call, he came and he said, you know, I'm really, really sorry that I said all that profanity. And I didn't really hear his profanity. I was listening to the coffee. I know that there was a lot of emotion. But I said, don't worry. I wasn't really hearing. I didn't hear any profanity. And he said, yeah, I lost everything. He goes, I've lost everything. And I said to him, I'm so sorry that what you've been through. And he said, I went to jail and came back and I've lost it all, everything. And I said, but really at the end of the day, a lot of us measure what we have from outside of us rather than inside of. And I said, what are your beliefs? And he said, you know, God. And he said, Jesus is always with me and I'm always connected. And I offered to him, you know what? You always have that. And that's always your connection. And he lit up. And from a person that in his physical state, he is on a journey of rebuilding. It's very clear. Got out of prison, the partner is now with another man, and he's not able to connect with his children. On his physical state, he has a journey to reconnect with physical expressions of security and joy and comfort and happiness. But regardless of what's going on, the physical, which is what I call the external, we always have our internal connection. And that's an internal connection to our inner power and our internal connection to the universe. And that connection is the place of infinite satisfaction, happiness, worthiness, and love. So as we go through our humaning and try to create the best physical expression of life that we can, remember we always have our connection to our inner power and to the universe to truly, truly connect to the truth of the human journey. And now I think I feel fully complete. Jamie, thank you. You're a beautiful teacher, Manal, an inspiration. Thank you, Jamie. I'm so glad that you stumbled upon me today. Was it the topic, the time? What is it that made you come today? And thank you to everybody. I absolutely love you all. You are all amazing. Today I've grown so much myself, and I really feel the vibration of the room has raised considerably and amazingly, and it's because of all of you, and you're willing to connect to your truth. So I love you all. Jamie, topic and time and a leading. Topic and time and a leading. I don't know what and a leading means, but I got the topic and time. Fantastic. You're all amazing. I'll just wait for 30 seconds if there's anything else you all want to say, and then we will see you on Tuesday. And the nudging to you. Oh, I got it. Fantastic. Well, I'm glad that that nudging came, and I'm excited to see you engage with us in this amazing community that we've created. Om, says Steve. Om, om, om. Beautiful. Okay, I love you all. My love, always.